There are three possible explanations.
Here we go.
For
I like
what
this
we
already.
just witnessed. I guess it
One
happened
of
yesterday.
them, bro, be nice about.
Well, I think you're gonna love this take.
Okay.
The first is he's 82 years old.
This is what I want you to be nice
and he's
about.
starting, to lose it a little bit. Here's the problem. Throughout the press conference, he seemed like Jerry Jones has for the past several years, decades. Like, he didn't seem slow. He wasn't slurring any words. He wasn't forgetful. Outside of the car accident comment, then everything, he seemed normal. So that's one explanation. Okay. Second one, and this is the one I hope is true.
Okay.
And this is the one I tend to go with. He loves the drama. And I have been saying, but now it seems crystal clear, the number one goal is not winning a Super Bowl. The number one goal is not putting the best team on the field. The number one goal is not giving your team the best chance to prepare for the season in training camp, because he just ruins that every year with these contract negotiations. The number one goal is to create drama, because the drama keeps the Cowboys on the lips of all the TV and radio talking heads. It keeps them on the front page, and that ultimately makes you money and raises the prestige of the franchise, leads to money.
Keeps you in the zeitgeist.
Yes, and he loves that, all right? The third one, and this is the scariest for Micah, maybe he really is thinking seriously about franchising Micah. He brought it up. He brought it up. Yeah, let him play out this contract, because, it would end up costing Mike. He's going to make $24 million. Let him play out this last year, and then franchise him for the next year, maybe two. I hope it's number two, that he's just playing to his brand of creating drama. But those are the three possible explanations for that.
So I think it's two with a little small dash of one. I do think that he is, maybe a little looser with, kind of his thoughts than he typically was 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are, as they get older, they're just like, they're saying what they're thinking, rather, the filter goes away to a degree. And doesn't mean you're not with it. It just means, like, I don't care as much as before. What are you going to do? And I can only imagine if you're also a billionaire and also in charge and I think this doesn't serve the Cowboys, everyone underneath him wants to always make him happy. So, there's no guardrails at all. But it's just such horrific strategy, KW. And I will use an awkward but real-life example, not for me, just generically. We all have a friend or family member or colleague who has broken up with someone and then either, in person to friends, or the worst one is on Facebook or on Twitter, talked real bad about their ex. This is what was wrong with them. I knew they were wrong. They did this to me. And then sheepishly, 3 months later, they're posting Instagram pictures together again because they're getting back together. So the point I'm making is, Jerry is talking about all the reasons why it's risky to pay Micah Parsons, when I think he knows deep down I'm going to pay Micah Parsons.
Okay. It's a very interesting metaphor. I'm all for the random metaphors and analogies and similes and all that. That was, make it personal. I like the personal ones. Those land more, man. That's what Colin Cowherd does, and I always appreciate that from him, honestly. But what is there really to say here? I've had this take a few times over the last year or so, I guess, maybe even year plus. I actually do genuinely feel bad for Dallas Cowboys fans. That really is my foundational take with regards to the Dallas Cowboys. Because it's one of the awesome experiences of this channel, making these videos, is that I really like. It really is me, obviously, right? Like, and I really am. I don't have a team of people. Like, I'm actually reading the comments, replying to the comments, like it's me, right? Like, it's literally just me. And so I feel so much more connected to the various fan bases. And obviously we all have our back and forths and whatnot. And I had been strong on the Dallas Cowboys not being as great as their record has shown them to be over the last couple of years, and they obviously didn't like that. But like, I can still see that they obviously care and that they're passionate, and there really are some fan bases that you don't get that level of intensity, and I will always respect a fan base for caring, for just actually just showing up and caring. Now, granted, the Dallas Cowboys fan base is so massive that it's obviously not all great, serious fans. There's plenty of people who just know nothing about nothing, and so you're gonna get some of that. But the vast majority of people who I'm interacting with on this channel and stuff, like, I know they care. I know they know football. They've been fans for a long time, and this is some of the nonsense that you have to deal with. Like, it really is kind of crazy, and it makes me actually feel bad. I'm just like, gosh, like, because there's no reason why the Dallas Cowboys shouldn't truly be like an elite top team year after year after year after year. I mean, you're going to have some down years, but like the fact that, we can say with confidence that the Philadelphia Eagles over the last 25 years have been better run, that the Baltimore Ravens over the last 25 years have been better run, the Chiefs have been, that the Bills have been. I mean, like, we can look at teams that historically have just failed for years and years and years. And, the problem is that sometimes, and this is why I always push back on Cowboys fans when they wanted to be like, why we have, 5 Super Bowls or, whatever the heck the number is. And it's just like, again, like, that was in like 1992 or whatever, and it's just like, Google wasn't invented. Like, who cares, man? Like, what have you done for the last 30 years? And it's just like, there should really be no explanation for it. You can explain away why other franchises have been so bad. The Cleveland Browns, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, you can point to concrete reasons and an understanding of where they are, why no one wants to go there, the brand itself, like the lack of cash on hand for the owner to be able to put out guaranteed money. Because like we talked about in a previous video about kind of like the owners, when you put out guaranteed money, like the owner does have to put that money out in escrow. He does have to move around some of the money that he personally has, and he has to put it in there to be like, this is the money, because the NFL's not doing it. And so like, it is up for the owner, which is why some owners are willing to put out that guaranteed money and other owners are not. And like, Jerry Jones is massively wealthy, right? There is no issues whatsoever. So it's just like, he has the ability to hire the greatest scouts, the greatest everything. I mean, like, he has the ability to just make the Dallas Cowboys an absolute paradise for the NFL, for football. And yet we continually hear players and ex-players be like, it's a circus here, it's ridiculous, like, it's just it's a clown show. Like, these are ex-players that are saying this, and even like current players to a degree who are even still on the team, just trying their best to kind of tiptoe around it. And you're just like, this is a mess. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys should be anything but that. And like, that's what's crazy. And I'll evoke Jalen Hurts here, but it's like, keep the main thing the main thing. And like, it's a bummer. I mean, like, this is, on one side, I'm happy to have something like this. Like, I was laughing about this today, actually, like how Brew had his top 10 Super Bowl or bust teams or whatever. And it's just like, they're debating the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Los Angeles Chargers, and it's like, that is definitely peak of like, we got nothing else to talk about, but I appreciate it. I'm grateful for it, because like, we all just want to talk ball, we all just want to talk football. We're happy to have it, and even when we have to kind of force conversations and get debates about things that don't really matter, like who should be SBOB more, the Steelers or the Cowboys or the Chargers, like, and I'm grateful, right? I'm grateful that they have meetings and they figure out what the heck can we talk about, what's interesting, what's entertaining, even if it doesn't actually fundamentally matter. And on the surface, I'm kind of like, I'm grateful that Jerry Jones is out there saying Micah could get hit by a car, and like, there's plenty of games that he's gonna miss, so it doesn't matter. Just because we sign him doesn't mean we have, like, he's saying kind of crazy stuff. And like, on one side I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awful. On the other side I'm like, hey man, this is great, we got nothing else to talk about right now, so bring it on. But like, I ultimately oftentimes when I make videos, I feel as though I'm always talking directly to fans, right? To people who actually care. And so like, that's my first thought when I see stuff like this. I'm just like, man, I'm sorry. Like, there's a handful of Cowboys fans who I've definitely gotten to know over this, since the beginning of the channel, like Grover and Travis and JC. Actually, a lot of the people who I talk to very regularly on this channel in the comment section are actually, ironically, Cowboys fans. And I'm just like, all I can say to you is like, I actually really do genuinely feel for you, like, because this is just frustrating. But it's like, it's so bizarre because Jerry Jones is so fascinating, because on one side, he's so crazy, like things can be so crazy, but on the other side, like, he does put together fundamentally great teams. Like, he does. He's put together. It's not accidentally that, like, the Dallas Cowboys over the years, and obviously last year kind of, hurt this trend a little bit, but like year after year after year, they are top in Pro Bowls and all pros. And, I don't know it exactly off the top of my head, but like when it was like an over like a certain stretch period of time, like 3 years or 5 years, whatever it was. And it was just like the Dallas Cowboys were like at the top with the most Pro Bowlers. It was like them and the Ravens. So it's like, and Jerry Jones has to get credit for that. He does. I'm not saying he gets all the credit, but like he has to get some of the credit of being able to build these teams and build these great teams. And like, but then like, it's like, coaching is kind of like interesting, but like even hiring Dan Quinn as an OC was a slam dunk hire. And then boom, off to now, lead the Washington Commanders. And now even someone like a Matt Eberflus. I think Matt Eberflus is probably a really, really, really good to great defensive mind. Not a good head coach, but a really great. I mean, he was awesome with that defense. And when he got fired, that defense plummeted with the Chicago Bears. So like even bringing on an Eberflus, great hire, right? And so it's just like he makes such like really good, sharp decisions. But then you get just like a mess of this, and it's just like it's tough. Like it's funny because I was talking in the comments section just today actually, and I was like saying like, if the Bengals lose, like if they clearly show that they're just continuing to be a poorly run franchise, I'm like, if you're Joe Burrow, like, how do you not reach the point where you're just like, get me out of here, get me out of here, get me out of here, get me out of here? And one of the teams that I thought about, because I was trying to think of like a scenario where it was kind of similar to Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford and kind of how they switched so everybody could be happy. I'm like, having Joe Burrow go to Dallas and having Dak Prescott go to Cincinnati, right? Like that would kind of soften the landing a little bit. Again, I'm not saying this it's 100% realistic, but I started looking at it to be like, at least there's a baseline in Dallas that it's like pretty well run, and that you're going to have pretty decent rosters around you. But then it takes such a turn. And I thought to myself, if Jerry Jones had Joe Burrow, right? If Joe Burrow landed in his lap, who's an absolute brilliant elite quarterback. I don't feel like debating that right now. Any of the ultra Dak truthers, Joe Burrow is a better quarterback, okay? There's just no question about it. I question, would Jerry Jones go all in to be like, we got Joe Burrow, we can win a Super Bowl, I got to do everything I can to build the best possible team, to get the best possible coach, I got to do everything. And I'm not even convinced he would do that. And so then it's just like, well, what does that mean then? Because that is what the Rams did when they got Stafford. They went out and were like, we got to ensure that the pieces that we've had, we got to make sure we keep them. We got to now go out and get OBJ. We got to get Von Miller. They were making very concrete, all-in decisions to say, we're going for it right now. And I'm like, I don't know if that's the case for the Dallas Cowboys. And I've been meaning to make this other video, just haven't gotten around to it because, Colin's confident that like Nick Saban will go to Dallas. And he goes, Jerry Jones is getting older and, he knows his time's running out and that he's going to want to win and this or that. And I'm like, I don't think he's going to fire Sean Hammer because, again, that would show that he made a wrong decision. And I don't know if he's going to want to bring in Saban. And I don't know if you would even want Saban there right now. He's obviously a great football coach and all this, but like college is fun, is incredibly different than the NFL. And so it's like, that was like its own conversation. But like, even if that would be a great hire, and again, I'm on the fence about that, even just from a strictly X's and O's and just even like how to coach people, since you've been coaching kids your entire life and now you'll be coaching men. I don't have the confidence that Jerry Jones would make that move. Why didn't he go out and make an honest effort to get Ben Johnson, Harbaugh? Like why like those two options right there were for the taking. You could have hired Dan Quinn as your head coach and then went out and got Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, like, you could have been the Washington Commanders You didn't do that. And even that would have been a little bit more strategic and a little bit more, take a little bit more of a vision there, which is like, it's not always the easiest to see, and there's risks in that, but like taking the chance on like a Ben Johnson or a Harbaugh. I mean, I don't think you're really taking a chance on Harbaugh since he's already been proven. It's just like, that's not a chance. And you're telling me that you can't sell them on the Dallas Cowboys brand? Of course you can. Of course you can. So like, yeah, man, I don't trust that Jerry will make the true decisions that you need to make to really get you to that next level. I think he's great at building a foundation, ironically enough, even if it can feel really shaky and weird and kind of all over the place. But those fine little things that you really need to do. I look at it like even like an Amazon type thing, right? Jeff Bezos, all that, they were growing, getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But like what really, really, truly put them over the hump, where it just became inevitable and undeniable, it was really like the two things. It was free returns, and it was just like, I can order off this website and I'm going to get a great deal, and there's essentially no risk. And when there is any problem, they took the Zappos model, which they ended up buying. It was just like, kind of like customers always right. Oh, it's broken, it's this or that, whatever returns. And now they've it's not as binary as it once upon a time was, but certainly in the beginning. So it was like, there's truly zero risk. Like, you have no reason not to order off this site. It's a huge brand, no risk. And it's getting delivered so fast. So not only are you getting this delivered so fast, but it's free returns. So normally it's like shoes. I don't know. Am I really going to like them? Well, it doesn't matter. It's free returns. You're going to get it in a couple days. You don't have to wait. If there's any problems, if it gets lost in the mix, whatever it is, like zero risk. And it's like, that's what then put them over the hump of just like, this is undeniable. This is like, you can tell your mom, your dad, your grandfather, your children, like whatever. It's like everyone could just order off Amazon. No problems. You could pay. You could buy something incredibly expensive, $2,000, doesn't matter, because it's zero risk. Any problems, you're protected. And it's like that extra move is what made it absolutely an unstoppable force. And here we have the Dallas Cowboys. It's just like they have essentially built their own football Amazon in a lot of ways, but they're just kind of like, well, who cares if we make shipping 2 weeks? Does it really matter? They're going to buy us, and they're going to buy off us anyway. And do we really need to do free returns? Like, I don't know. And how about a restocking fee? Restocking fee, that's pretty good. We'll get a little bit extra money with the restocking fee. Yeah, add a restocking fee. And you know what? When a customer complains, really make sure that you talk to them for like an hour. Make them really fight for that refund. Like, it just becomes like sloppier, and you're just like, what are you doing? You have the infrastructure. You have the foundation here. Like, what are you doing here, man? Like, it's just... you're right there, and they just can't do it. And I wonder if it'll continue even after Jerry is gone, after he either steps away because he's just obviously just can't do it anymore, or the inevitable where he's just no longer on planet Earth. And yeah, I just wonder, like, that's where my mind goes to with all this conversation, trying to figure out like, oh, what is Jerry is Jerry trying to negotiate or this? That's like, I don't have an interest in that right now. Or like, should the Cowboys move on? Should they franchise tag him? It's just like that at this point, that's not even that interesting of a conversation to me right now. Like, I rather look at the Cowboys like, as a franchise as a whole, and like what is all of this? Because it's fascinating, man. It needs to be studied. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones? We'll call it negotiations, if we will. We'll be a little loose with that word. But let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here. I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.